You know what I hate about unnecessarily Die Hard sequels? Everything. Hey guys, how are you? Jordan here. You may notice a couple, or at least one main thing that's different about me. The beard is gone. I finally got rid of it. I will get it back, probably here pretty soon, but I literally just got done with it, and if you could see, all of this shit, look at this, all of that crap was on my face. I look like a new man, and I'm proud of it, but anyway, let's talk about Die Hard 5, or, I'm sorry, A Good Day to Die Hard. Okay, Die Hard 5, which I'm going to call it Die Hard 5 for the review. I'm not going to call it A Good Day to Die Hard. It was a terrible title, just like the last one. Alright, basically, Die Hard 5 stars Bruce Willis as the iconic character John McClane. You all know him from Die Hard 1, 2, 3, and Live Free or Die Hard, or Die Hard 4. And Die Hard 1, you know, frickin' it established a new genre of action movies. I mean, like, without that, you wouldn't have had Speed or Under Siege or movies like that. They all tried to copy off of it. So Die Hard was a big deal back in '88. But then you got Die Hard 2, which is like, you know, I thought that for a while that was probably the weakest in the series, until now. And then there's Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance, and that was really good. That one's also from John McTiernan, the guy who did the original. I think they kind of brought it back more to what it should have been. And then there was Live Free or Die Hard, which, honestly, I didn't mind it, but I had my gripes with it. Number one, you know, John McClane fighting a jet. I'm sorry, you take a guy who's like, you know, this vulnerable, you know, kind of smart-ass guy, you know, he's got fucking glass all over his feet, to, you know, him jumping on top of like an F-18 and taking it down. I'm sorry, he's not a superhero. He's John McClane. I wouldn't have minded him, like, you know, taking out a jet or two in this one. That would have been better than what I saw. I am not happy at all with Die Hard 5, not in the slightest. Starts off with him, you know, he gets on a plane because he's going to visit his son Jack, who got into some trouble, and it's up to Bruce, you know, to go and save him and find out what's up. You know, spoiler, it's not really, but you find out once he gets over there that his son is actually kind of like a 007 style agent. You know, he's like this undercover CIA guy who got in too deep with some generic-ass Russians, and that is probably one of the biggest fucking reasons I hate this god-awful piece of garbage. And that is because it's Die Hard standard, okay? Die Hard 1, Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman. Awesome. Die Hard 2, you had, what the fuck is his name? He was in The Green Mile and Shawshank, but you know what? Even he was okay. He at least gave Bruce a challenge. Die Hard 3, you have another Gruber, a kind of more gayer Gruber. He might be gay, they never really address it, that doesn't matter. You have Simon Gruber, a frickin' smart-ass badass just like his brother. And then even in Die Hard 4, you got T.O. And yes, I'm not referring to the dumbass football player, I'm talking about Timothy Olyphant. I actually liked him. He's in Justified, he's a badass, he's super cool. So you got him as a bad guy, and even he was kind of a challenge because he is like the internet, basically, and Willis is like old school action, so they're both trying to kind of understand each other. And then you get this guy, who, I don't even know his name, I could have looked it up, I didn't give a fuck to. Just, this is like the most generic bad guy possible. He's literally just some, you know, I'm a Russian bad guy, I have plutonium, and I hate everybody. I don't know if that's a good Russian voice or not. I really don't care. You don't even give a shit about this villain at all. He's just like a standard one for Bruce, which is maybe why Bruce seems like he's not even interested in being there. He just looks bored throughout the whole movie. Yes, of course, he has some of the, the quippy one-liners and just, you know, the McClane freak-out moment. It just felt like Willis was there for the money. He didn't look like he wanted to be there, and how could you blame him? It's Die Hard 5. I mean, there didn't need to be a fifth one, and if you are going to do a fifth one, I gotta say, I don't know how you could reboot the franchise. Maybe it's just done. I know it's tough for people to accept that, but maybe, just maybe, Willis should have stopped when he shaved his head. That's another thing. He should grow his hair back. He really should. I mean, I know he's always been balding, but he needs a little bit of that. He needs a little bit of this. I don't know. And then let's talk about Jai Courtney. I think that's how you pronounce his name from from Spartacus with a Vengeance, or it doesn't matter. Spartacus blows, and that's a whole other thing. I can't stand it. The CG's terrible, but CG is god-awful in this, too. Just really atrocious. And people, this is a reason why you could tell this movie's going to suck and why you should avoid it. Number one, it's coming out in February. Alright? A Die Hard movie is supposed to be a summer blockbuster. Why would they release it in February? Because it sucks. And then number two, when they don't ever say, when in the trailers or on the posters or anything, who it's directed by, that should be a clue. It means the studio's fucking embarrassed, and they should be, because John Moore just took John McClane and butt-fucked him. He just raped him. John Moore did Max Payne 3, or it's not Max Payne 3, he did Max Payne the movie, which, it looked okay visually, but as a movie it sucks. The only real average movie I can say where I didn't like completely throw up and actually had an alright time with was Behind Enemy Lines, and I think that was his first movie, but since then he's had a slew of just generic shit movies. I don't get why people keep paying him to do movies, especially a Die Hard movie. The guy is not, you gotta have someone more credible at that. At least the guy who did the fourth one had Underworld under his belt, and that's not half bad. But John Moore, director of Max Payne, fuck that. Stupid. Jai Courtney was okay. I mean, he did it alright, but he did like too much of the whole, I don't like my dad thing because he ever talks about me in the other movies, because no one gives a fuck. We've never cared about Jack, and after this movie, I still don't. And as a whole, there is some, there's some pretty decent action that happens, but the editing in this movie is really weird, too. It's very choppy. It's just all over the place. There's some action scenes where I just didn't even care. Like, they could have shaky cammed it, and it would have made more sense than what happened. And just bad CG, more completely over-the-top stuff, no good villain, and a bored Bruce Willis that's just there for the money. I gotta give Die Hard... I'm going to have to give Die Hard a D-. And the only reason I don't give it an F is because at least they got Bruce Willis, and at least he retained at least about 50% of the McClane character. But I hate to say it, I think Die Hard's dead. I don't know how they're going to recover from this. It's just a major disappointment. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.